I've been watching you like the.
Although alcohol is promoted as a dangerous substance to consume in excess by health publications, and despite a heavy social stigma regarding alcoholism and regular binge drinking, it is heavily accepted by the general public. In Canada, alcohol is the most widely consumed substance next to caffeine, with Canadians consuming approximately 8.2 liters of pure alcohol per person. For reference, that is 480 bottles of beer, 91 bottles of wine, or 27 bottles of spirit. If alcohol risks are widely known to the public, why are alcohol companies allowed to advertise as much as they do? Money. Monetary gain is the most obvious answer. Canadian alcohol agencies generated $21.4 billion in alcoholic beverages, roughly 1.2% of the entire Canadian GDP. LCBO, for example, generated $4.7 billion in the 2011-2012 fiscal year, of which $1.63 billion was directly transferred to the Government of Ontario. Across Ontario, they also employ 6,067 full-time employees, with benefits and pension. The amount of local bar and restaurant workers also makes for a staggering amount of employment in the country. The most obvious form of advertisement is in sports. Large alcohol companies have a massive presence in professional and semi-professional sports leagues. For example, of the NFL's massive $1 billion budget, Anheuser-Busch sponsors 88% of the franchises, and Miller Coors sponsors 55%. The absence of these sponsorships would have a massive toll on the sports industry, drastically reducing their quality, and might not encourage physical activity in younger children and adults as they did previously. Speaking from a social perspective, alcohol advertisements and sales contribute largely to social cohesion, especially in Canada. Canadian alcohol companies target their audience by advertising their products as being part of the national identity. Their video advertisements often make references to hockey in order to fuel a sense of nationalism and increase social cohesion. They made drinking Canadian beer synonymous with the national sport. Therefore, alcohol advertising, especially in Canada, encourages a healthy sense of community and belonging. This is similar to how media portrayals of alcohol consumption depict an average high school or college party as being associated with heavy binge drinking, which naturally sets a norm in society. Alcohol is thus known as a social lubricant, as in many cases it provides a common ground and represents an equal social standing. Although alcohol consumption is viewed as having detrimental effects on one's health, there are numerous studies that show possible benefits of moderate alcohol consumption. One of the most commonly documented health benefits of moderate alcohol consumption is the prevention of cardiovascular disease. According to a publication by the Harvard School of Public Health, this makes sense biologically and scientifically. Alcohol consumption raises HDL levels, which are associated with greater protection against heart disease, as well as increasing sensitivity to insulin, which improves health factors that influence blood clotting such as tissue type, plasminogen activator, fibrinogen, clotting factor 7, and von Willebrand factor. Exposure to many alcohol advertisements leads to considerable negative implications for the population. Whether health-wise, economically, or socially, the effects are largely problematic. Let's start with the implications regarding health. The youth of the population are a main target for the advertising, which is a problem because at this stage in their life, they are susceptible to the manipulative messaging of alcohol promotion. Consequently, the positive associations youth make with alcohol due to the exposure can lead to behaviors resulting in problems like heart disease, liver cirrhosis, automobile accidents, and influence their health-related decisions. Although many would argue in favor of alcohol advertisement by saying that alcohol sales make up a large part of the country's revenue, it is important to take the social costs that counterbalance these means into account. The Canadian Public Health Association estimated that Canada spent a total of $14.6 billion in direct and indirect costs due to alcohol in 2002. This total includes $7.1 billion in indirect costs due to productivity loss, $3.3 billion in direct costs to healthcare, and $3.1 billion in direct costs to law enforcement. Outstanding social costs of alcohol consumption have also been found in Italy, the United States, France, and many other countries worldwide. The amount of hospital emergency inpatients taken in due to acute illness caused from alcohol consumption often mirrors the alcohol consumption of the population. The health costs and the amount of acute chronic hospitalizations related to alcohol misuse place a burden on hospital admissions when efforts could be used more efficiently without the surplus of patients. Emergency medical attention is needed to recover these avoidable cases, which causes a problem when attention to other more serious cases must be compromised, not to mention an increase in waiting times and health costs. Chronic diseases caused by alcohol consumption include, but are not limited to, liver and colorectal cancers, and gastrointestinal and cardiovascular diseases. On a more social level, alcohol advertisements often exuded a traditional form of masculinity and sexualization of women, which have been correlated with incidences of domestic violence. Also, these gender-defining components have societal and mental effects. Greater advertisement exposure correlates with more ingestion of the drug, leading to higher incidence of alcohol abuse. Regarding mental health, excessive drinking offers an unhealthy way of coping with life stressors. In conclusion, optimization is necessary to balance out the economic benefits with health and social costs of alcohol through regulation of advertisement. Morally speaking, companies must be conscious of their influence in order for society to enjoy responsibly.